What's up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Um, just outside getting a little air, man. It actually feels pretty good out here because we in Houston, so it's like blazing hot all the time. But wanted to talk to y'all about something. As you may or may not know, um, President Donald Trump is getting ready to try to initiate the process of reopening the schools, and this is causing a lot of controversy, of course, because right now the United States of America is in the middle of a pandemic situation that has been going on for months now and is showing no signs of improving. It's not getting better, it's actually getting worse, with America being the uh, the new poster child for COVID-19. So now, in the midst of that, um, Donald Trump is pushing to reopen the schools, and even going so far as to threaten to defund certain states if they don't comply with his reopening request. He referenced how other nations have managed to start up the schools back in their countries, but neglecting to mention the fact that these countries have gained a greater grasp on the pandemic. Their numbers are actually down, but here in the US, the numbers are skyrocketing. They have reached a level that seems to be still traveling on this upward trajectory. So the question I would have to ask you, and I guess it would be uh, rhetorical to some, but legitimate to others. Um, are you sending your children back to school if they decide, hey, we're going to open up the schools? Would you be one of those people who send your children back to school in the midst of a pandemic where you have all these different children in a confined space in classrooms, in cafeteria? See, that there's no form of proper social distancing that can make this make sense, that can make this work, because all of us who've been to school, we know how it is. We know the close proximity by which everyone is surrounded. So at the end of the day, will you be one of the ones? And I'm speaking to a lot of people who support Donald Trump, and because look, all of you who call yourselves critical thinkers and free thinkers and all that, a lot of times to me that's a bunch of BS. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. And I don't mean it to everybody, because of course nothing you say can be generalized. But a lot of times people will say you're not a free thinker simply because you don't agree with what they think or what they've been taught to think or told to think. You see, you feel what I'm saying? So my question to the free thinkers, my question to those who refer to themselves in that category, but you are supporters of Donald Trump, or you're supporters of any system, because you are a supporter of this man, do you agree with everything that he says? Is every decision that he makes a decision that you go, oh yeah, that's it right there, yep, he did it again? Is there anything that this man can say that you as a supporter of him will go, oh well, nah, I rock with him, but I have to, because I'm yet to find a Trump supporter that does that. I'm yet to meet one. And when you ask them that question, they dance around it. They never directly answer it. They never say, well, no, I didn't agree with that. I didn't. You never see that. I would be shocked if I saw it in these comments. But the reason why I'm presenting that is that, we have to be very careful, man, because every person who is bestowed the title or role of leader isn't necessarily qualified. So, will you be sending your children back to school? Will you be one of those who decide that I'm going to trust what this man is saying and put my children in jeopardy because my president is all knowing and all wise? I would advise people to um, homeschool, as I've said in a few videos before. And me personally, I'm no expert. I am a person who subscribes to the school of common sense, the school of general sense and instinct. Like, nah, that don't make sense. That doesn't equate, because knowing what we think we know about this virus, even if there is someone who may be asymptomatic, you send your children out. Children um, fatality rate during coronavirus has been particularly low. However, that would not stop them from contracting it and coming back and spreading it to parents and grandparents. And it's just not a good idea. It's just not a good idea. And there are so many people who are tied into this move, but they're tied into it for political reasons and financial reasons. And that's what we have to guard against, man, when we're dealing with people who we claim to trust as being leaders, and people who we um, grant place our lives in their hands. People like Betsy DeVos, who is taking funding away from this bill that was passed, and she's using a lot of that funding to give to private schools that don't even need money and things like that. These moves are political, man. These moves are not rooted in the well-being of the people. They're just not. So I'm curious to hear y'all's points of view on this. And I'm also curious to ask the Trump supporters, will you be sending your children back to school? Don't get sensitive. Just answer the question. All right, man. It's your big brother K-Rino. I'll backdoor y'all with one because I got a lot of stuff on my mind today. So I'll hit y'all in a minute. All right, peace.